today to be joined by Elitom El-Amin, who is a internationally renowned breatharian, practicer of different holistic modalities of healing, and he's an author of a couple books around these topics. I'm sure he's got loads of interesting information to glean, to be gleaned from. And yeah, we're going to go through it and see where we end up at the end. So thanks so much.
All right, thanks for inviting me.
It's my absolute pleasure. So yeah, like, where did it all begin for you, this journey?
Oh, I like how you asked that. Basically, on the forefront of becoming aware of this, it was dealing with a health issue. Being in America, I was on the standard American diet, 3 meals a day or more. And over a period of time, I started to accumulate more and more weight. But at the same time, due to the environment I was in, dealing with materialism, of course, we're taught that, you know, the bigger the house, the better the house, the bigger the car. So you're basically chasing this economic thing, and you're having more than what you need, but it doesn't matter. So I found myself going outside of myself to try to get these things to make me happy. But at the same time, I'm losing my health. And I've had to juggle it. So this was the start of the catalyst of saying, wait a minute, there have to be a timeout. And then that started my journey into going more into holistic health and putting myself first.
Cool. So how does it work briefly? Like, for example, like if I wake up in the morning and the average person goes to eat breakfast, is it once you've practiced breatharianism that when you sit down to meditate or whatever, or do these things, is there a conscious consumption of prana, or is it something that, much like breathing, that the body, once trained, handles itself subconsciously, and then you can just kind of flow over the top of it? Or is there like a time where you're like, okay, now I'm hungry for some prana, if you know what I mean? Is that something that you encounter? Or
I'm glad you brought this up, because when you're first starting out with the journey, you have accumulated a habit of eating at certain times. So just like anything, perfect practice made perfect, we became good eaters. So when you wake up in the morning, if you're used to eating breakfast, that's going to be on the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
So when you come on a breatharian journey, you're going against those old habits to start a new one. So you might want to cut out the breakfast for the day. Not stop eating altogether, but I'm going to cut my breakfast out and I'm going to eat at this time.
Yeah.
You're starting a new routine within yourself. But over a period of time, like where I'm at now, I've been on this journey for 20 years. There's not even a thought of breakfast. That's out of the reality.
Yeah.
So now these things are second nature. It's not craving, I need some prana or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just a natural lifestyle you into. Like when I woke up this morning, I'm saying, when is the sun coming up so I can get to the beach?
Yeah.
The beach is nice. I love being there. It's cool. It's less stress. Beautiful view.
Yeah.
And the thought ain't even, I could need to go there to get prana. If I go to the beach or not, because every day is different. It could be raining real bad, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the whole goal is you are so much into your body on how it feels, and you know to let go of less stress. That's how you're living your life. That's your new nourishment. That's your new meal.
Okay.
Oh man, this is good.
Yeah.
So that's out of your reality. Then of course the lunchtime, most people are seeing what they're going to get for lunch. That's out of your reality now.
Yeah.
So you have created a whole new lifestyle for yourself. And that's what takes time. It ain't could a body do it or not. It's your habits of what you're going to do with your day. You're afraid. You're scared to be alone. All this other stuff.
So these emotions kind of consume your pranic energy, would you say?
Right.
Is that fair to say? These like negative feelings and stuff, they can like, you know, literally just take away your life force energy.
Oh, absolutely. And see, we shouldn't even use that word take away life force. See, we are creators in life. And you're creating your life, and not only you're absorbing energy naturally, you're also expending energy.
Yes.
So you're trying to figure out, how am I going to start redirecting the energies from doing this to redirect it somewhere else? So we don't want to look at it as a negative energy just because you wanted to go hang out with these people versus should you or should you not.
Yeah.
You understand? But you just got to keep in mind that everything you do, you're dealing with an energy flow. Because there's some people in groups you could be around where you feel more energetic. They make you feel happy. It betters your life. And there's some people you can be around that pulls your energy. It's just negative. And like they say, you hang with them for a while, you know, you'll start talking like them. Then your lifestyle start being like them. And it just take you another direction, and you can feel it. This is what we're dealing with. So being a breatharian is just making you into a better energy worker. So we use that term, light worker. We act like it's just for a certain few. Everybody's light workers. You're a being of light, but it's how you're using it.
Yeah.
So even on the breatharian journey, I'm not teaching people how not to eat. I'm teaching you how to eat again into food freedom. First, you got to learn how to eat. Let's look at the obesity problem of America where I was into. That was the environment that was doing me like that. Because everybody was used to that eating. And even when you got overweight, nobody criticized it. That's what you need to do. Get some food, you know, to stick to your ribs and stuff like this. So when I started going against that and losing weight, people talked about me. You're losing too much weight. You look skinny. Are you sick? Let me pray for you. But I'm feeling good, and I'm going to keep going this route or what makes me feel good.
It's an incredible faith you must have in your body, you know,
Right.
to develop that faith, to develop because it's no water as well, is that correct?
Right, that's right.
That's because that for most people is the most inconceivable thing, right? Because
Right.
fasting is somewhat in popular culture, and it's long fast achievable. That's like known, but the water thing is like almost too much for a lot of people to comprehend.
And that's a whole nother piece going through the liquid journey.
Yeah.
Now there's like how I'm teaching down to earth. You got the dense physical matter of the food. Now I'm glad you brought that up because even the food part, when I first started, people hit that you need to eat, blah, blah, blah. But now it's popular. Now people don't attack me with that, they come with the liquids.
Yeah.
All right, that's how the human mind works. And then pretty soon they go into the water. They don't even drink water, but they got to attack me with it.
Yeah.
And then I started explaining that. And then pretty soon it's going to be like, why won't you levitate? You know, why won't you do that? Okay, here we go now. Because the human mind, you keep breaking these barriers. But when it boils down to with water, we live in water. But it's just another medium of it. See, when we say we do live in gases, and the gases are just another state of matter, let's just say H2O. And then we gave it a term, when we freeze it at a certain temperature, we name it ice. Now, we named it ice, but it's still H2O. If it becomes steam, it's still H2O. It's not steam. That's just another word we gave it to identify it with. So we're living in water. So there's moisture in the air right now, and this don't got nothing to do because we're near the ocean. We could go right into the middle of the city, and I say, now feel the atmosphere. You'll still feel it. The body knows this because you're having, like you said, faith in your body. I love my body. I love what it can do.
Yeah.
And I'm pushing the potential to take it there more and more and more. This is what we're talking about. Just like a bodybuilder want to see how far he can take it and stuff like this.
Yeah.
You're going into your energy body, which is your physical body. There's no in between. How far can I push this? Where can I go from here? So you start tweaking your energy game. So when I saw myself, first of all, there was a time veganism was attacked. You need to get protein from meat.
Yeah.
And that was a medical, scientific fact, as they say. But now we know it's not. There's communities out there where there's people born into never eating meat, never eating an animal byproduct. I've been there. They're in Israel. There's others. You understand? So that's already been cracked.
Yeah.
But somebody had to push that envelope. They got criticized at first. I don't believe it. But you see they're healthy, happy, and everything else. So now we got more fruitarians than ever. We got more people going more live and raw foods without cooking it.
Yeah.
You understand? Breaking those other barriers. And then this thing dealing with you need at least 2,500 calories a day. That's out the window, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And no, they don't know how long a person could go, you know, on record without eating. You know, they'll just throw something out there medically, 30, 40 days. But we know that's not to be true now because this is like people's pushing the envelope, going further and further. Now the thing with the breatharian knowledge, we're not saying put tape on your mouth. This is bringing back the spiritual practices of really what they were meant to do. And they are meant to actually get you to grab more energy into the body. It's another system to grab energy into the body.
Yeah.
It ain't to look cute just because you do yoga. At the third level of yoga is food freedom. And it got 7 levels to it. And that's not hard to reach if you do it properly and stay consistent.
Yeah.
You're clearing your blood flow. You're bringing more energy to the body. You're oxygenating the cells. You're getting lowering your thoughts where you're not just grabbing every old thought. because it's all about brain health. This is a health message. We're not going against the brain. So if the brain gets what it needs, and I say this over and over again, the rest of the body is going to be happy. Because the brain is the commander-in-chief of your life experience. Because the neurons show up on there, every experience you have. So this is bringing it back down to materialism. Spirituality was taught to hate materialism. No, you're living in the material world. But some scientists will say the only thing that exists is the material. Your body is the gateway to the invisible forces. That's why in yoga they say open up the different passages in your body that opens up different corridors of thought, of consciousness. So as I'm working on my body, opening it up, there's so many reservoirs of energy within it. They start going upwards because energy love to rise upwards and nourishing the brain. See, this isn't far-fetched. I'm just good at explaining it.
Yeah.
Taking out the myth of it.
Yeah.
And again, it's all dealing with brain health again. And that's why they always showed you not just your physical brain in your body, your spinal cord, your central nervous system is the center of your being. And all of us is experiencing life from our center. Not nowhere else and all that you're experiencing it here. But the good thing about it, you do extend, because you're an energy being.
Yeah.
You do extend further outside of your body, further outside your center. We don't need to make it spooky no more.
Yeah.
We do got an electromagnetic field that you can measure. We got equipment that can do that now. So when the ancients are talking about having an aura, or having a halo and stuff, oh, that's just, for a saint. Everybody has that.
It's a much more integrated system when you look at us as electrical beings, isn't it?
Yeah.
The language is very, it flows, it connects to all the physics, it connects to lots of other aspects of life.
Absolutely. And that's what we're dealing with, human physics. See, metaphysics just means the higher physical. That was just forces we couldn't see at the time.
Yeah.
But the age we're in now, we know everybody's working with x-rays right from nature.
Yeah.
Not just in a doctor's office when you take an x-ray of you.
Yeah.
Infrared rays, the body glows in the dark. That's a scientific fact. Yeah, everybody's body glows in the dark.
Really?
Yeah.
There's an emanation of light.
Absolutely. We got biophoton therapy, where the organism actually produces its own energy. Your body, your brain produces its own energy. We could say those neuron pulses is electrical signals. It can be measured, just like a radio wave. So this is an instrument. And people scared to look at it. I was just talking to some guru. Yeah, but it makes it seem like we're a machine. We're not a machine. And I'm like this. Oh my God, yes you are. And I'm talking to a program right now because he can't even leave his belief system as I'm talking to him. That's the problem.
These words, we have issues with linguistics, don't we?
Yeah.
Like how each individual relates to the linguistics can be a
Absolutely.
problem because it's like, here, look at this, and they can read it and feel something totally different about those words.
Right.
Which is, I guess, one of the biggest problems with trying to like tackle any of this stuff, because it's really high level stuff.
Yeah.
This, like breatharian, like I have trouble defending veganism to people. Like,
Right.
I don't try to actually anymore because I'm just kind of like over it, because I don't even see that field as like, this is just how I go about it. I don't even like to call it veganism. It's just, this is what I'm doing, This is the energy that's coming in, that's the energy that's going out, and it's kind of cool to leave it at that for me.
Yeah.
So these words are always these battles we find ourselves in, and I was going to sort of touch on this with you, is that even when I said I was coming to interview like a breatharian, like the reactions were mixed, and I realised that this time I'm normally defending veganism. Now I'm kind of like that. Now on the spectrum I'm here, and now I'm talking to like a breatharian. So it's like that next level,
Right.
But how we're emotionally connected to our food, I suspect it's got something to do with our energy and our vibration.
Oh, absolutely.
How it works through us and how that affects other people,
Right. And also dealing with sociology, how your social environment, it affects everybody around the planet. The reason why you got your language is due to where you were born. The religion you were born into, what your family was worshiping, that already affected you. Your family, your friends, and if you grew up in a caring environment where everybody cared about you, that plays on a person right now compared to a harsher environment. So that all goes right now dealing with the Breatharian journey, believe it or not. It's already enrooted in you. So when this message comes, it's hitting so many layers. Why do you like the food you like? That's what you was eating. And all this other stuff, where you grew up at.
Yeah.
It's just like here in India, they got a lot of spicy food. So there was one guy, he won't eat nothing that won't. It's not spicy. And I was just laughing when I heard that. But he was serious.
Yeah.
But that's I could understand it. The music you like. So in a way, you don't have your own thought. Nobody has their own original thought. It was given to you by society and their environment. Now, how did I find the Breatharian message? It's in everybody's culture because it's a health message, and that's what everybody's dealing with just by being a human being. We have a related energies. We're all dealing with frequencies, vibrations. We just have to get over this word battle. And once you can define it and understand it, and you're working with these things, it makes a whole difference.
Awesome.
Oh, man. And it's relating to food, like what I said, I'm going to teach you to eat again into food freedom. Now, food brings families together. We had ancestors. Now, we already know this a fact, that the human being could go a very long time without food. We migrated all over the planet. You didn't have restaurants, refrigerators. You only could carry so much with you. You understand?
Yeah.
So we can do that, hands down.
We're very resilient.
Very resilient. We adapt to our environments, different situations. That's like, you can even see that in one evolution that stands out of our skin colors, or how our ancestors had to adapt to different environments, and they did that for health purposes. So that shows you that the environment is intelligent.
Yeah.
If they're going to kill you or take you out, it's user-friendly. So we're getting educated again by, when we talk about nature versus nurture, you're looking at your genetics, what I got to work with, things I probably want to get rid of if I can, because that's playing a part in it. And then you're looking at your environment, because I've also seen people who want to go to the Breatharian path, but I've seen the environment that they're living in. That's too harsh.
Yeah.
That's too harsh. You got all these arguments, all this stress. That's not what the message is saying, that the human being just put tape on your mouth and you believe. That ain't got nothing to do with it. You have no space to work on yourself. You got negative people all around you.
Yeah.
That's where you live.
Yeah. It's so good to hear that from you, because many people, when they hear about someone teaching breatharianism, they think, oh no, it's so dangerous, this and that. But what you're not saying, stop eating food. It's like a long old journey.
It's a journey.
It's like, first of all, let's start here,
Yeah.
like get aware of that stuff first, and then maybe like later on you can start to like teach your body a certain thing. It's like going to Mount Everest, right? You don't go climb the top of the mountain, you go up, down, acclimatize slowly, and then but then you'll also find a Nepali Sherpa there who can just no problem, with everyone's bags as well,
Right.
So it's kind of analogous to that in a way, I'd imagine, the whole process.
And nature shows us processes. See, what messes people up that I found out is their old idea of what they think spirituality is. Because this do go in the spirituality avenue. And what spirituality to me is, as they was teaching in the ancient times, it was the science of the human being and their relationship to nature. So that's man and environment, no in between. You are nature. You're working with the 5 elements. We can break that down. It's a different teachings on how I try to tell it to you. But that's what it's dealing with. Balancing those energies out in you, you're going to have better health. It's a health message. That's how you can measure your spirituality. But due to where we was at in ignorance and didn't know that, everybody's mythicizing it. And they got these ideas of what they in their mind or what they think it should be. And I have to bring it down to earth that that's not what it is at all. You are to develop yourself just like in anything else. Yes, you got a pretty voice, but you can be a better singer if you worked on it. So not only you got nature versus nurture, you also got talent versus hard work. This is work to change yourself. And the ancients in all religions, they are talking about a human transformation. You can change yourself. We know this. We can change ourselves by putting on a new wardrobe, redoing our hair, start wearing makeup, and stuff like this. We do it all the time. But on character, we could do that all the time. Many people do it.
It's interesting.
And that's what the Breatharian knowledge is talking about. You're changing yourself on all levels. Your emotionals, how you're looking at things, your mental thinking, to have better cognitive thinking skills, not thinking stupid or far-fetched, down to earth. Eating. What? There's an obesity problem in America. That's a problem. You ate too much. You see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
that cognitive thinking skills. So the breatharian knowledge is not giving all that credit to food like that. You understand? And through meditation, to make it plain, if you could grab a system of meditation where you're actually grabbing more energy into the body, breaking up energy blockages, because all sickness start from, I'm straight up saying it starts from some type of energy blockage. If the flow of energy is going, the sickness won't show up. And it's your responsibility to keep it flowing. That's why you should walk every day. Breathe clean air. This is basics. Basic 101 that humanity got away from chasing other things. We understand that. But as we come back home and we do got a health crisis, we got all of this great science, but you got a health crisis. And even in the medical field, they're saying that this is how they say it, the starvation diet is the best diet. And that's not even a diet.
For healing, like fasting.
Healing is just a way of life. Right. You should have that in your lifestyle. You don't have to eat 3 meals a day in order to live.
Sure.
Every single day without giving the machine a rest. We even know, like your camera, your equipment, do some maintenance on it. Wipe off the lens every once in a while. Get a new this and that, so you can keep it longer.
Yeah. You really feel that energy work with things, don't you? Even just cleaning your house, you know?
Yeah,
There has
everything.
to be a dedicated practice and time for this unblocking of, and you feel it quite.
Absolutely.
In a house, when you do the dishes, you sweep the floor, you light some incense, you put on some music, it's kind of a form of magic, you know?
That's the breatharian journey.
But you're doing that on an inner
See
way.
how we brought it down to earth? And if a person do this and decide to live like that, you're going to be a better energetic being, and then you can start pushing the envelope even more. See, the breatharian knowledge comes from an ancient word of fasting, which is anedia, and that means to eat very little or none at all.
Okay.
You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So it's a skill you pick up.
Uh-huh.
So say, for instance, like some people will say, they'll put themselves in a box, I'm never supposed to eat again, and not just beating up on yourself. Just live your life.
Yeah.
Because you might be in a situation where you're traveling, and there might be a piece of food you never tasted before. You could give your life, let me see what this tastes like.
Yeah.
Wow. And then put it down and call it a day. All religions talk about detaching.
Yeah.
You should be able to detach. It should be, oh, I got to do more. I just can't stop. You have no mental control.
Yeah.
That's what that's saying.
So the definition of breatharianism isn't strictly just on never ever eating. Like,
Right.
say a person's on a breatharian journey or whatever, where they consider themselves to be very low intake of calories and everything.
Right.
It's not like you're. If a vegan eats meat, you could say they're not a vegan. But if a breatharian decides, okay, like this, I'm gonna enjoy this orange or something in this moment. It's not like you're off the wagon kind of thing. It's
Right.
like
You're not a breatharian because
It's like an up and down journey, like we said with a mountain, you know.
Just like you said, because there was a fruitarian community one time until a guy admitted, well, just last week I got a pizza. But everybody didn't say you're not a fruitarian no more. You understand? That was just part of his journey.
So over the course, is it 19 years you've been on this journey? Around
20.
About? 20, wow.
Right. I'm the oldest international running one right now.
Wow.
So that's why I'm teaching down to earth about my do's, don'ts, falls, when to apply it, when to use wisdom. You understand? Because some people, they want to become a breatharian. Everybody got their reasons. But some of them, I can look right through it. That ain't got nothing to do with being food free. You're hurting the people around you in your environment. You got little 2-year-old and 4-year-old kids. You got your spouse there. And you're talking about you want to go this route. And you're dissociating yourself from your family that you created. And it causes problems. You don't even need to use the breatharian message for that. I see households get destroyed for other diets.
Yeah.
You understand? So they're using them for the wrong reason. You know, you got your husband, you got your wife, and you hear me talking about you can use your sexual energy to get stronger, so they want to go that. Well, what about your spouse? Well, they need to get over it. You might as well get ready for a divorce.
Yeah.
You're destroying your family, and that's what we're talking about, and that's going to block energy in you. See, this more than just eating or not eating. You really got to clean up and get over the past trauma in your life. That brings more light into the body. That's what Buddha was talking about. He sat up under the Bodhi tree every time the past came up, and it will. It's still in you because the physical body is such a unique piece of equipment, the most powerful on the planet. It picked up everything, and it could do so much. We just have to tap into those things and be real with it and let it go there. Like, I really feel good right now how I am. There's no food in my system and I feel good.
Yeah.
And I'm healthy. This took work. This is the great work. And I'm proud of my work. So this ain't trying to even convince nobody. All I got to do is keep living me.
Yeah.
Well, what about so-and-so? I don't care about so-and-so.
You're in your own sphere.
You're in your own sphere, your own zone. And I just gave information so people who want the information, they know where to come. I ain't got to chase you down. Well, you can spread the message here. I don't care. They know where to find me now. Just like any information.
Yeah.
And there's others out there. Oh my gosh. We got so much going on. Now, dealing with the water thing, let's go back to that. Before you can understand not drinking water, water is crucial for life. Now, did I say that? Yes, I did. So, the mucus in your body produces that mucus from you eating. And it did it for health purposes. So the food could go through a lot more smoothly. So usually when a person has a runny nose and coughing and spitting up, that's mucus. You just got too much and the body's just getting rid of it. See, the body always try to seek health. It's helping you. But when you overdo it and keep doing it and don't let that mucus come out, yes, you should fast in your life to help that mucus. And when you get to a certain level, usually about the third or fourth day, when people are fasting, they say not only hunger decrease, thirst decrease, because a lot more mucus came out. So you feel thirsty because of too much mucus.
Let's see.
So once you start getting to those levels, and you get, and again through meditation, when you understand how to grab energy from other energy sources, we'll get more into that. The body will get just what it needs and create what it needs. So just say it pulling something from the atmosphere, it got things in it that's dormant that we have not given it a chance to do.
Interesting.
Our central spinal fluid, where did that come from? It didn't come from nothing that you drank. It produced it. Your red blood cells, that come from your bone marrow. Your body creates these things. Your sexual fluid, it's created in your brain first, and it comes, all of this stuff.
It's coming at it from a different angle, right? It's like changing the idea of a human from a consumption thing to a creative force.
Right.
Like a producer rather than a consumer in a way is your kind of take on it, which most people couldn't comprehend because they 1 + 1 = 2 kind of thing. You know, it's like put 2 eggs and some flour, you've got a cake.
Right. We're going into a heterotroph. That's an organism that produces its own energy. And we got the power to do that. You produce your own energy. And when needed, the environment is here, which is you. There's no separation. You're living in it.
Cool.
This is what we're saying. Even your hemoglobin, it's a fact. You know, your blood flow draws light to it. And when we say light, we just don't mean the visible light, because a lot of people like to go into sun gazing. What about sun gazing? What about it? I don't stand and look at the sun. For what? I'm living in it. This is what you have to get into your realization. Your body is so hooked up with the cosmos that we ain't even aware of it. Sort of like every time the sun comes out, your pineal gland gives off serotonin. It didn't ask us, it already clocked it. It's already in tune with it. Same with the moon, it gives off melatonin on its own. So once you understand that your body is doing these things on its own, you're learning how to get out of the way. To just live. Oh man, here we go now. Even when we deal with diet, what is the best diet? Nobody knows. Well, we would have came out with that right now. If you eat this and this and this every day, you'll be at superb health. That never came out.
No.
Because nobody knows.
Normally it's an ongoing debate that just rages on, you know?
Right.
Something popped into my head that was quite interesting is like, what's your take on, like, given that we have the apparatus for eating and whatnot, like what role has consumption played in the development of humans to the point that you're at now where you're like almost transcendent of like the human form, like nature has brought us, you could say, to this, given us stomach acid, given us sort of intestines and stuff.
Well, let's go to evolution. Evolution just means change. So of course I was talking to a religious-minded person not too long ago, and I just don't think we come from apes and this and that and blah blah blah. Okay, I'll let them throw that out there, you know, dealing with our changes. But when we look at our changes as humanity, not only there's an evolution in the making of a camera, the evolution of a making of a phone. And then if we go in the animal kingdom and say, oh, but that's the ancestor of that animal, we'll shake our head.
Yeah.
That animal, but us, we try to separate ourselves from nature all the time. Now we do got what you call rudimentary organs. We do have organs on our body that we don't need anymore, but there was an ancestor that needed it. You just happen to still show up with it, but you don't need it. All right? And then if we was to go deeper, yes, if we go back far enough, where they say, you know, the human being been here for 200,000 years, well, that ain't like how you popped up. You come from something else that we're just saying in this new form. You understand?
Yeah.
You've been here like forever. But you got, if we go back far enough, we all got an ancestor you probably wouldn't even recognize. You should probably start laughing at it. Look at that. That's your ancestor. Yeah. Now, it ain't the chimpanzee or nobody said that.
Yeah.
Even Charles Darwin, he just said one day there shall be light spread on human origin. You know, but of course we fell for those pictures in a, you know, classroom, you know, something bending over, something all fours coming up. As we'll say, they try to say we come from a monkey. Why ain't they changing now? No, ain't nobody saying that. But you do come from something that look totally different than what you look like now.
Sure, yeah.
That's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
And then when we're dealing with evolution and rudimentary organs and stuff like that, you could say we're a hybrid. So whoever came up with this science back in the day, because there's an origination point, or somebody created this method. Somebody looked at it and created it. Now, on one level, we got a name called Adam. Hebrew, they call him Adam Rishon. Now, we just look at it as a name being played around, but it was a person. And I guess they figured, hey, if we ain't got food around and you're connected with everything and you're part of nature, take it further. This is a created knowledge. Because what makes us different than other animals, we can make a plan. We can learn. We can sit there with a classroom and actually learn. Other animals ain't doing that. You got the most neurons in the front of your brain. Yes, you got abilities they can't do. So when we came into this awareness, somebody created this science. And it's just been here with the new human. They say you can stay like that as your animal, as an animal, or as an earth animal, or you could transform to an air animal. It's up to you.
Wow. Really interesting take. I love that. It was great because that was a question for me. I was like, last night I came to the point, I was like, but what about the mouth and this? And the way you explained it then was really cool. Like, cause,
right.
You know, I'm fully, after like lots of visionary experiences with psychedelics and stuff, I've opened myself up to like the fact that anything is possible, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and the only thing really that holds you back is language, really, from understanding many different concepts and ideas. And you have to come at it from a really different perspective to be able to digest some of this stuff.
And I'm glad how you brought up language, because language is the thing we have as humans that separates us from other animals.
Yeah.
We do have a unique language intake, and that means a lot on our development. Even back on the basics again, somebody can build you up just by talking to you every day. Change your outlook on life. Or somebody could take your outlook on life and just kill it. You understand? Just through language. Especially if you understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very powerful.
It's like a kind of sorcery almost,
isn't it? It's a sorcery. It's a witchcraft.
Yeah.
And when we say that, we ain't saying if it's negative or positive, but it's a witchcraft. That's what's going to make you. So when I'm out here talking to people through videos, through workshops, I'm doing a kind of witchcraft. You understand?
Yeah.
Putting a spell that's changing the last spell. You're going, and let's bring it down to technical terms. Just like a computer, because we're biocomputers, you're going from one application to another. You're just downloading a new application. Some applications takes longer to download than others, depending on where the equipment is at.
Yeah.
So some people it take them a while for it to kick in.
Different frameworks of
Different frameworks, right. And then once you catch that download, you got it. You're self-running.
Yeah.
But that's what we do, what we learn, we teach. And like the last download we had, if you don't eat, you die, and stuff like that, that was a download somebody gave you. You only can last for about a week without eating, or 3 days without water, and all of this other stuff they threw at us. That was a download. If you believe it, you're going with it.
It's almost like that's as far as their neuro kind of like programs were allowing them to design.
Right.
It's like it's like you're changing your seat from your identification as being subject to the universe's forces, to being kind of like the architect of its,
right,
you know, of its actual like
absolutely,
framework and everything.
so basically
Super high level, bro.
yeah,
Like, that kind of stuff's like, you know, Neo kind of stuff, like Matrix
right.
5, you know.
So I look at myself, I'm a scientist, and my laboratory was my own being, my own body. So I didn't have to go get all this precious equipment. Your body and your mind, like they say in science, is the most complicated machine in the universe. It's the most expensive. You're expensive. You're working with some high-level equipment. You already got the blood valves. You already got plasma.
Yeah.
You ain't got to go buy it. You got it.
Yeah.
You're already working with the neuron system and melanin and all this other stuff that's going, all these high explosive chemicals. How are you going to use it? How are you going to redevelop it? See, even when we got physical bodybuilding, that's new to humanity. They had the first Mr. Olympia in 1965. Somebody figured out, I can alter my muscles if I do this, and they start going for it, or who got the best body, and I went somewhere else.
Yeah.
We learned something new. Yeah, you can do that. Instead of just having your regular old body just going every day and why is it so skinny? Why is it this? You can do what you want to do with it. It's just like this morning I was doing push-ups and doing, strength exercises. And they say, I don't believe you can have muscle without eating. I worked at it. I'm a scientist. Why not? This stores energy. Fat stores energy.
Wow. It's like the ultimate biohack, really, isn't
Right.
it?
You're biohacking yourself. You're not going with the old rules.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now what works for one person might not work for another, so you got your own flavor you're working with.
Yeah.
This is what makes the art so good. I like using this term, art.
Yeah.
It's sort of like whiskey. I'm just bringing that up. You got whiskey, the alcohol,
Yeah.
but you got different whiskeys being made at the different parts of the world.
Yeah.
You got the whiskey up in Ireland compared to the Kentucky whiskey. They're both whiskeys, but they have their own ingredients, what they used with their bread and butter. I believe up in Ireland they use a certain river to give it that certain flame. And then in Kentucky, it's the way they store it into the barrels and all of that to give it a certain flame. So it's the same with people. You got your genetics and stuff, but at the end of the day, y'all both should come out as being whiskey. You're working with your flavor, your energy flow, because everybody's working with energy. Nobody's exempt from it. Wow. This is good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
These subtle forces are governing so much all the time, but it's almost like so much of society refuses to even acknowledge its existence.
And they're called universal laws. We are under universal laws. You're in physics. Why wouldn't you be? If all physical matter is, you are too. It's just that it's hidden from us. So that's what we mean by you're hidden from spirit, or you're a spiritual baby. That just means an energetic baby. You don't know the laws of physics. So that's why you're living a certain way. You're subject to certain things by being ignorant.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, that's why you can believe till you blue in the face. This isn't no belief system. This is an education. This is knowledge. Because you might could go to court here in the real world and beg the judge for your ticket that you was wrong over. He might let you go this time. But the laws of physics ain't letting you go. You can beg till you blue in the face. You got to learn them. Nobody gets away, right?
Yeah.
This is what we're working with, a system that's connected with the system, and that's what you're coming in agreement with. So that's why there's a level where, as you being a practitioner, that's why you're going down your own road, you will figure out that, man, I got to make some corrections, because the higher forces ain't making corrections for the creature. Like I said, somebody made this up. No, it isn't natural for humans to automatically do that. We had ancestors, they know nothing about this. But somebody came along, found out, made it up, and that started the schools of thought dealing with the spiritual sciences.
Wow.
And that knowledge got lost some type of way. Apparently, if that person died or went the other way or refused to teach people, that's what happened. But people marked it down and they hid it in religion. Because when I go to different religions now, I can see it. I can see it. Because my mind opened up to that. Oh, that's what that talk about, the DJ pillar, in Egypt. Oh, that's the spinal cord. That's the battery. That's where they got the battery power from. See, even our external sciences they got from studying the human being.
Sure.
They don't go nowhere else.
What's your interpretation of some of the Bible things regarding food, like breaking of the bread or the feeding the 5,000? Do you interpret that differently now?
Oh
from a
yeah,
Breatharian
even
perspective?
the manna from heaven. That's a good one. So some people say what you're eating, the manna from heaven. I could say heaven is a high state of consciousness. And to back that up, I remember one time one of the popes, the one before this one, he basically said hell is not a place, it's a state of consciousness.
He said that?
Yeah,
Wow,
so I'm
that's a
glad he
truth
said
drop
that.
from those guys,
Right.
right?
And your Protestant churches got mad at him because they said you took a weapon from us. Now listen at that wording. That used to be a weapon for people. I don't want to die and go to hell.
Yeah.
But it ain't about that. Your life could present a hell due to your state of consciousness.
Yeah.
Or it could be at heaven. It's just like how me and you was walking down here, and all we were saying was, wow, look at this, look at that. That's what we're living at, heaven. So when you start having gratitude and appreciating this all the time, that's another thing the Breatharian knowledge teaching. So everywhere I go, I got that perception, so things turn out differently for me. I gotta say it.
Yeah.
Because some places people be at, oh, ain't nothing here, la, la, la. But when I come, I see totally different. But that's how I trained myself to see. Now listen to how I said that. I trained myself to see that way.
That's working with energies, isn't it?
Working with energies.
It's like figuring out how to identify with incoming
And it's dictating
forces.
how your brain is, seeing the images, and that's how you are going to experience it. It goes back to brain health again. Mental health. You got to change all of that. Some people got bad mental health consciousness. Too negative, all this other stuff.
And that's passed down through nurturing, I guess.
It could be both. Most of it is nurturing, and there is certain things that we do get genetically, but that don't mean it's wrote in stone.
Yeah.
Some things is and some not. So that's still a debate on how to work with that.
Kind of like how the Eastern philosophy calls sankhara and everything, right? Like stored ancestral past life trauma, that kind of thing.
Well, now we got a thing where we can say it scientifically. They got epigenetics.
Yeah.
You can have a grandmother, a great-grandmother you never met before who had a trauma, and you're dealing with it in this lifetime.
Yeah, and they proved that in animals as well, right? That
Yeah, nobody
rats
gets
and
away.
all, it's stored in there, that memory of that.
So when you're freeing yourself up, that's what they mean by basically you're breaking family curses. Like in my family, there's a obesity problem going on, on one level, and I know that's from the culture, and that's how they think it's supposed to be, but, well, this runs in the family, and this runs in the family, but now I can say, well, I'm not like that. I done broke that.
Yeah. Wow. Like, I want to go off the piece a little bit and talk about like how you interpret other sort of cool topics around spirituality and stuff, just to get a Breatharian's view on it, like visionary experiences and psychedelics and stuff. Like, what's your take on that?
Oh, well, there is what you call spiritual plants, as they call them, energetic plants. To hold a good energy that can take you on great experiences. See, life is an experience. Everything you're doing is going to take you through some type of experience. Now, my thing is that when people get in these experiences, they still could get trapped in it. That's the ultimate, and that's the way it is. Okay? So they keep doing it over and over again, but when you come out of that experience, you're back in your daily life, and it didn't change nothing. You still got work to do. They just open up your mind and say of different possibilities and stuff, so get over it and come back home.
Yeah, because the work needs to be done.
The work needs to be done.
It's sad when you feel that way, but it's not sad, but it's just the reality. I know it for sure,
Right.
So in that way, it can be very bittersweet, I think, the visionary experiences.
Yeah.
It can really open you up, but at the same time, the work has to be done.
The work has to be done.
Yeah.
So it should boost you up to really get into life and really start making changes. See, because one thing about the Breatharian knowledge, that's what people, another mistake they make. They think that this is going to take you out of life. So you get, especially a lot of young people. They're coming, I want to be a Breatharian, but they're trying to run from other problems. And I said, this ain't going to make you run from life. If anything, this puts you back into life. See, when it rains on everybody's head. You're not excluded. But your perception change. This is what we're trying to get the people. You got to do the work and stand up. Get away from that fear-based frequency. You got work to do. So now when I'm looking at life, I can look at people differently, animals differently. There was a time I looked totally different. It brings you back into life to appreciate and love the power that's going on out here. Like when we look out there in the ocean, some people just look and see the water and see the boats, but all of this power, we're in it. I see all this power taking place, coming up from the earth. I can see it,
Yeah.
feel it. You're part of it. And this makes you appreciate where you're at. You're an energy being in an energy universe. That's it.
Wow. Powerful, brother.
Right. Oh,
powerful.
man. This
So-
is something.
So where do you see sort of like, do you see this becoming, now that these seeds have planted and you're seeing this sort of like new development in human sort of potential,
Mm-hmm.
where do you see it going from here? Do you see it becoming more commonplace for people to,
Oh, absolutely. It's going to do two things. Now, there's going to be a small remnant who's actually going to be a breatharian like that. And the reason why I say a small remnant, because there's some people who got the right situation to make that happen. They're really there. They got certain desires. They just got it going on that right thing. Whether if you say it's accumulation of past lives, I don't know. They're going to make that happen. But all of humanity is going to change, because all of humanity is now, there's a new program in it to know that that exists. It's everyday commonplace. That's what's going to happen.
see,
And that right there automatically going to change the fabric right there.
just an acceptance of this reality can be possible, so
Right.
it's going to open lots of new doors.
Because there was many who probably, because you could kill a genius. There's many people who had that genius potential, but their environment was unable to cultivate it. And people through their ignorance killed that mindset.
Yeah,
So it's the same way with breatharianism. When I was coming up, I was just strong enough to hold on to it, or I could have been killed. You understand? Because
Yeah.
people around you, they don't mean bad, but they're just ignorant to what you're trying to do. What that got to do with life, and all of this. And then when you start succeeding, then pretty soon it's not laughed at anymore. It's accepted. So right now, breatharianism is just going to get into the rankings of being accepted, just like any other food choice, diet choice. You understand? A choice of how a human being want to operate. Just like a car, you could get a car running off of fossil fuels, dead plants and animals. Or now we're in an age where you can get one that runs straight off electricity, one to run off of solar power. You understand? One to run off of different types of biofuels. That's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
Human being could do the same thing.
wow. Wow, cool, man. So succinct, and yeah, I feel like I've developed like a lot of good like electrical ties in my brain.
Right.
This is what this kind of is. When you come and talk to someone with a different, and you're trying to share different views through language. There's these parts where you get these marriages, and it's only like
Right.
through, because the non-physical isn't something we can tangibly say this is a rock,
Right.
when you're dealing with energy, we have to talk in like metaphor and stuff. So yeah, I feel like you've done a really good job of like giving enough sort of like metaphoric foundation to make this like more
Oh, yeah.
digestible for people,
Absolutely.
Excuse the pun.
Yeah, more digestible. That's what we want. That is food.
Because
Food
we
for
were
thought.
talking about this before when we came over on the rocks as well, that like the next stage of diet is like media, right? Like you're consuming light and you're looking at your phone or your tablet or whatever, so you're always, now the next stage is like, what are you going to be like consuming? Like what information are you digesting?
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I guess you're hitting to when I said certain people were sending me videos talking about the current world situation in a negative way. Okay, I see if you send it once, but over and over again, I had to bring to their attention for you to even search that. I could just tell how your energy is, because you are consuming it. That's what you're looking for constantly. I'm on the internet too, and I don't even search for that. I got to bring it up that much. You just became part of that energy.
Yeah. You're more I guess for you, you're more in an immediate sense of in the momentness with your body all the time. I
Right.
guess. That anything coming from the outside, I guess you're going to be more discerning of it, or you can
You
feel,
have
you
to
can
be.
feel its impact on you, right? So therefore, it's like I won't even entertain that idea.
You have to be, because the only thing that exists is the creative forces in the creature.
Yeah.
That's how you're looking at it now. And see, when we talk about the Breatharian message, is a holistic health message. Now, let's see how I put that. But what is holistic health? They'll give you a definition for it. It's the mind and body connection. So you got to be in tune with your body when you live in a holistic lifestyle. It's the mind-body connection. And most people who do have these preventable sicknesses that didn't have to happen, it's because the mind and body was not connected. You were not in tune. You should have felt what was going on. But due to being disconnected, you didn't know. You thought that was how you're supposed to feel. And you ain't got to feel like that. Wow. So you coming back in tune with your body, and once you get to a certain point, you learn how to guard it and protect it. So that's why when I said to those people, okay, we got it already. You don't need to keep sending me that. I don't need to cater to it, because whatever's going on in the world, this is my world. This is all I see. And the people in where I'm at, everybody's happy and smiling. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Who told you that? They don't even know. They just got something off the internet to think that's how it's happening all over the world. It is sad when you're trapped into that type of worldview.
That's the kind of matrix most of us are stuck in, and admittedly, me myself, I often get pulled into these things, and I feel the drain on my energy. You know, it's it's totally you can feel it. You know,
right?
And I do worry about the future of the world, potential government tyranny, oppression, this kind of thing. But at the same time, I feel like I've come to the point now where I have to understand that I'm ultimately powerless at that, but my power is here.
Right.
And it's just about, does this feel good? Does this intuitively feel right to me? And having to get more in contact with my immediate surroundings as a kind of coping mechanism, to be honest, but I feel like it's been forced.
Well, what gets good is, once you understand too, this is what the Breatharian perception will take you into. It does take you into that unity thought process. I'm born into this. There's no separation from me and the other forces. So I'm also connected with every other being. Every time you change yourself, you change everybody else. We affect each other.
Yeah.
So you got to keep in mind that governments and everything else, those are people. Nothing different. They're working with energy, people. You're changing them by changing yourself. There ain't even got to be a word said. You just keep on growing. Absolutely. And they know it because everybody's dealing with it. And I get people in certain positions or certain financial situations that's really good all the time. They're not talking like they're rubbing their hands behind closed doors. How can I work with this? It's people. But we think that through the movies and everything else, man, they got me this time. They got me against the wall, and this is about to happen. And we need to quit that. Now we do got a dark past, you know, as humanity.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things we fought through already. We got through.
Yeah.
We got through that storm. And you got to know now that we're in the golden age. We're in the golden age. It's here for everybody.
Yeah, so you think there's a global, collective kind of like rising of consciousness that's going to
Absolutely. Even for me to be where I'm at right now, on one level I could say nature and nurture, but let me use the term the light. I'm here because the light pulled me into this. So we don't understand how much we are influenced by the subtle energies in us and also the subtle energies around us. We are influenced by it. So really, like we said earlier, you don't have your original thought. So there is predetermination taking place. The whole world is going to go into a state where everybody's going to be at a whole nother level of a higher consciousness.
Wow. And is that sort of reflected astrologically and stuff as well?
Absolutely.
Kind of like...
There's no in between again.
Yeah.
Everybody's going willingly or unwillingly. So of course, when something is growing like that, there's growing pains. So you'll see the negative here. You see everything is highlighted.
Yeah.
But that comes with the territory. It don't mean that it dominated, it's ruling. It just means it's being revealed so it can be broken off.
Yeah.
So whether it happens on an individual level or a collective, it's the same body, it's the same entity. We're one big entity.
That's the crazy thing, you know, once we bring these dualities of good versus evil, oppressor, oppressed, when you've got the belief or the understanding that we are essentially one on one thing, it's like,
right.
You're like, oh, so I'm actually of the same being as that
That's
evil
you.
person. So it's hard. It's like, I don't want to accept that, you know?
Right, no, that's not me. Yeah, it is.
But it kind of is, right?
Absolutely. No in between.
You're part of the same fabric of the whole of reality.
The same consciousness you're using. Wow. Same thing. It's just acting itself out, sort of like assimilation. And you ain't even got to judge it, just like a meditation. So on one level, you come in with the mind-body connection. That's your first level.
Yeah.
But the second level, you are one with your environment. This is your consciousness. It shows the way you think. And it starts spreading out more and more. Whoa.
Wow, deep, man. Amazing. Loving this conversation. What's your plan now from like India? Like how much time have you got to spend there? Are you just sort of taking it as it comes?
Oh yeah, I'll take it as it comes. I mean, this is awesome. I'm having a good time here. I was supposed to leave before the COVID quit, so I got stuck here. A good place to be stuck, so
I agree.
I'll stay here and just,
Just
keep
roll
doing
with-
what I'm doing, rolling with the flow.
Yeah.
Where I leave from here, I don't know. There's many offers, but we'll just see how it flows.
Awesome. I feel the same way. Yeah, I don't know how you feel. Do you think we should wrap up there, or is there anything else that you'd like to cover?
Oh, this is good. I mean, we did a lot. We gave a lot of information for people to think about. So, I mean, we did a good job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks so much, man. It's been really fun to speak to you, and I hope anyone watching's got some cool information. And yeah, God bless.
Absolutely. Keep up the good work and keep on recreating yourself. It never ends. Even when you go to one creation to say, okay, I'm tired of this one, recreate it again. You can do all types of things. So this is what the journey's all about. A breatharian journey. You are a creative force. That's what it boils down to. Peace and blessings. Breatharian journey in beautiful Goa, India. Oh man, now I gotta get down. I'll check out this other hill.